So there is only 1 minute left. Kindly wait for it. Okay, so hi everyone. My name is Pallavi Minhas and I wish you all a very warm good evening. I will be representing Global Exposure India, a Delhi-based organization wherein we provide helplines and trainings for various English proficiency exams. And in today's webinar, we will be talking about a Canadian-based exam, which is very popular nowadays, as you can see on my screen. So we will be talking about CELPIP exam. Starting off with the first and foremost thing, we'll be going ahead with the full form. You know that it's very important to see the full form part to check in what the exam is all about. So when we talk about CELPIP, CELPIP stands for Canadian English Language Proficiency Index Program. Now you can clearly see that from the very beginning, it is saying that Canadian English Language Proficiency Index Program, which clearly shows that it is only and only for Canada and no other country is indulged over here, right? I'm repeating this again that this exam is only and only for Canada and no other country is involved here. Going to the next part, which is the criteria. Now you see, whenever we talk about anything wherein we have to appear for, so we have some criteria and there will be some processes for it. So what is the criteria for PR? First, we will be discussing this about. Yeah, one more thing I would talk over here is this exam is the same for study visa plus the PR procedure. So in this slide, I'm talking about only PR part, not the study visa part. So what all are the four things which are required in the PR process? You require your bachelor's degree, your 1 year of working experience, your age, which should lie between 17 to 45, and then your English proficiency test, right? On the basis of which you will be evaluated out of the given scores. Coming to your education qualification, you will be evaluated on the basis of 150 score in total, right? Work experience carries 50 score in total, 50 points in total. Age carries 110 points in total and English proficiency carries 160 points in total. Now you can see out of all, English proficiency is carrying the most of the scores, right? And as you know that PR process is nowadays a point-based system. So you will be getting points out of these points and you have to fill in the requirement, which are bachelor's degree, 1 year work experience, minimum 1 year work experience, then your age and then your proficiency score. All together, they are going to give your CRS score. Now, what is this CRS score? CRS score is comprehensive rating score, which is the selection factor for this PR process, right? So CRS score contains your bachelor's degree, your 1 year of working experience, your age, which should lie between this particular point, and then your proficiency score, out of which you know that English proficiency is carrying most of the points. Now here you can see that for Canada only, you can go ahead with either CELPIP or IELTS. Now we'll be talking about the exam. What is CELPIP and what is this exam? CELPIP is a totally computer-based exam, which you will be appearing in a single day, which will take you 3 hours only. And again, it is a 1-day exam. Talking about IELTS exam, you know that IELTS is a 2-day exam. Now, how it is 2-day? Students and people who have appeared for IELTS already, they might be knowing that listening, reading, and writing will be done in the first day, and then speaking is done on the other day. That way it becomes a 2-day exam. But when we talk about CELPIP, it is just a single day exam which will be completed in 3 hours and which is only and only a computer based exam. Second thing is the validity of CELPIP is again 2 years. And coming to the third part, who are the organizers? Some people may ask that, okay, who are the organizers for this exam? So Paragon, a Canadian unit, is the organizer. of this exam, and then presently is being conducted in Canada, USA, Philippines, UAE, Singapore, China, India, Korea, Japan, Nigeria, Bangladesh, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Qatar, Nepal, Australia, and UK. Now you might be wondering that why is it being conducted in Canada? Because you know that half of the population in Canada is still are considered or still not having their PR, right? So this exam can give or can provide them the PR. That is why it is being conducted nowadays. So before we go further, could you please let me know whether whatever I have explained so far is clear and my voice is clear too? In the chat box, you can just type it down and then we can go ahead. Okay, thank you so much, Miss Neha. Thank you for replying. Going ahead. Now we will see that what centers do we had in India. So we have multiple centers, and in the exam was introduced in 2018. At that time, we had only one center in Chandigarh, and then you know that country has been affected for a long time with COVID. So that time the exam did not grasp any popularity, but nowadays it is becoming very popular as it has been providing continuous PRs to number of people. Now talking about the center, so Chandigarh was the first center for this exam, and nowadays we are having centers almost in every state since the increasing or since the demand of this exam is increasing rapidly. So we have centers in Chandigarh, New Delhi, Gurugram, Chennai, Ahmedabad, Mumbai, Hyderabad, Bangalore, and Kolkata. In all these cities, we can go and apply for our exam. Going ahead to the next slide. So now we will be discussing some more things about this exam, right? Like what are the difference between CELPIP and IELTS? Why should we go ahead with IELTS? Why should we go ahead with CELPIP? And which option is better for us? So I will not be telling you what is the better option, but you will have to decide for yourself. Okay. So I'll just be telling you the differences. Module wise, highest marks in CELPIP is 12 and then IELTS is out of 9. So this is the first difference, which is CELPIP carries 12 CLB in total. What is CLB now? CLB is just a measuring unit and IELTS is out of 9 bands in total, right? Next thing is CLB 9 is significant score for PR process to receive invitation. Once you score CLB 9, you are good to go ahead with the PR process and you will be receiving your invitation. Then coming to the achieve score. Now, what do you have to achieve? So you have to get CLB or CLB 9 out of 12 just to get the required score. In case you are going ahead with IELTS, you know that you need to get 8,777. 8,777 means you have to get 8 in listening, 7 in writing, 7 in reading, and 7 in speaking. But in case of CELPIP exam, you will be getting 9 in listening, 9 in writing, 9 in reading, and then 9 in speaking as well. So you can clearly see the difference as CLB 9 is equal to 8,777. So scoring 9 out of 12 is much easier than scoring 8 out of 9. Why? You can clearly see that on the one hand, we have the gap of almost 3 digits. But on the other hand, we are having just a gap of single digit, right? So this is why we should go ahead with, this is why it is convenient in a way to go ahead with CELPIP exam. And also why I'm saying this, that CLB 9 you should be getting, and CLB 9 will give you a definite entry because CLB 9 is going to provide you many advantages which will give you a good hike to your score, to your CRS score, which makes your entry definite to Canada, right? So I will be talking about these advantages too in the coming slides. Going ahead with this part, now I'm just talking about the marks distribution system with spouse or without spouse, right? With spouse, if your partner is also giving the exam. Without spouse, if you are the only person and you are only going 28 and then 196 by without spouse. But our target is not to get the CLB 10. Our target is to get CLB 9, which is 116 with spouse, and without spouse 124, which is going to give you good hike and which is only the desired score. Yes, coming to the other part, talking about study visa. So study visa, you are eligible by CLB 7. Once you get CLB 7, you will be eligible. Once you get hike on your numbers, so yes, you will be getting many advantages along with them. CLB 7 will give you the eligibility, will give you the entry for the study visa. And yes, you can also apply for some scholarship programs, and with hike, you know, that opportunity increases, right? So this is what I have to talk about this slide. Going to the next one. Now, I just said that CLB 9 makes you entry definite because there will be some advantages which will be provided to you with this score. Now, what are these advantages? So advantages are, first factor is when you have your additional qualification after graduation. Now, additional qualification can be your 1 year post diploma program, your master's degree, your PhD, or anything that you have in addition to your graduation, right? And then the other thing is, other factor is your work experience, which should be more than 3 years, right? Suppose you scored or you managed to score CLB 9, and then you have your additional qualification, which can be your diploma, 1 year PG diploma, or which can be your master's degree as well. So you will directly be getting the hike of 50 complete points, right? But when we talk about the other thing, which is your work experience and which should be more than 3 years, you will again get a hike for 50 points. That doesn't mean when you score CLB 7 or CLB 8, you won't get anything. You will get, but your additional qualification after graduation here will provide you 25 points, and your additional work experience will provide you 25 more points. Now, the difference is very much visible. CLB 9 will give you 50 plus 50 points in both the factors, and CLB 7 or 8 will give you 25 in each factor, right? Coming to the next part, which is advantages with CLB 9. So with spouse, your English proficiency will give you 52. Your additional qualification will give you 50, and your work experience will give you 50 more points, which is directly 152 points with spouse. When we talk about without spouse, so English will give you, English proficiency will give you 56, and your additional qualification will give you 50. Work experience will give you 50, which is 156. And now you can calculate that direct entry of 156 points in your CRS score is a big deal indeed. How much hike they are going to provide, you know, it is a big score. That is why CLB 9 makes your entry definite, right? And that is why we say that, okay, CLB 9 should be targeting. So I hope it is clear to you. Coming to the next part. Now I am going to discuss about the format. Format over here is bit different to the IELTS one, but yes, module remains the same. We have listening, speaking, reading, and writing over here again. These will be the pattern. Pattern is bit different to the IELTS, as I already said. So speaking, you will have 8 questions. Writing, you get 2 questions. Reading, you have 4 sections. And then listening, you are going to have 6 parts. Now we will be talking about the comparison between both the exam. I just set the background for the exam so that you can know that what is CELPIP, what are the requirements, and how we shall go ahead in this exam. Kindly let me know if you have any doubt. I will just take 1 minute of yours. If you have any doubt, kindly let me know, then we will proceed further. Please reply on the comment box, or if you have any doubt, you can just put yourself on unmute, and then also we can discuss things out. Otherwise, I'll be going to the next part. Okay. Okay. Okay, Miss Simrandeep Kaur. This is the format. You can see it. If anybody is having any doubt, kindly let me know. Otherwise, we'll be proceeding further. Okay, thank you. I hope it is clear to you. Okay, starting up with the modules now, we will be discussing about the differences on the basis of both the on the basis of modules between both the exams. Now, first, we will be starting up with listening activity in IELTS exam. So in IELTS, you know that we do have this option of computer-based exam, but 90% of the students and people go for the traditional method, which is pen paper exam. And CELPIP, as I told you, is a clear computer-based exam, so you don't have that option over here. In IELTS, what happens, you know, since we are going ahead with pen paper exam, so it is a group exam and 400 to 500 people will be there sitting along with you, and you will have to share your resources. Now, there can be so many factors which can impact your performance, right? Let's say it is, let's say you are getting the last seat and then you are not getting the voice properly. So how will you be able to do your exam? It will be difficult, right? Coming to the other part, which is CELPIP. So CELPIP is a totally computer-based exam. You will be getting your personal computer, personal headset, and personal cabin too, which makes things easier to be understand and to be done in case of CELPIP exam. Coming back to the IELTS one, you know that IELTS is involved with a large number of countries. That's why it recognizes or it contains variety of accents in the listening exam. So those who have appeared for IELTS, who might have faced it. But when we talk about CELPIP, CELPIP is just for Canadian English, since it is a Canadian based exam only. So no origins will be indulged over here. Containing questions, IELTS, you know that IELTS is having 40 questions in listening module, and you have to do them in just 30 minutes. It is very clear that you are not even getting 1 minute for each question. You have to do 40 questions in 30 minutes. But when we talk about CELPIP, you have to do 38 questions in 55 minutes, and you just have to contribute 1.5 minutes in each section, which is a very good deal. Again, coming back to the requirement part, so you require 8 out of 9, which is just 90% of the score in IELTS. But when we talk about CELPIP, it is 9 out of 12, as we already discussed, which is only 75% of the required score. Coming to the number of correct answers, so you know that in IELTS you need to get at least 37 correct answers, and then you have only 3 answers wherein you can go ahead with wrong ones, right? It is a very low of margin. But when we talk about the margin in CELPIP, you need, or you can get even 5 wrong answers, and you just need to get 33 correct answers, which is giving you a good margin, and which is an understandable score to be get into. But when we talk about IELTS, you know that it is bit difficult, that too in an exam which is very high with English proficiency. So yes, somewhere or the other things are bit different and difficult too. Coming to the next part, which is writing module. So writing over here carries a lot of benefits, especially when we talk about CELPIP exam. Since, as I told you, that CELPIP is totally a computer-based exam, and IELTS, you know, that is a computer-based exam indeed. But when we talk about IELTS, 90% of the population go for pen paper, the traditional method. But when we talk about CELPIP, it is computer-based exam, and then we can go ahead with this only, right? We have no other option. So I also know that you have to do letter writing in the first part, and in CELPIP, you have to do email writing in the first part. So there are no such differences between a letter writing and an email writing. Why? Because emails are an additional form of letters only, right? But when we talk about second section in IELTS, which is essay writing, so essay writing is very complicated. Why? Because you get 5 different varieties and categories of essays: opinionated essays, advantage, disadvantage essays. Then you have to cover both the opinion, you have to give solutions. So there are multiple categories of essays wherein you will have to understand them first, and then only you have to go further. But when we talk about CELPIP, it is just about passage writing, wherein you will get a survey based question that I'll be talking about in the later part, and which is very convenient to be done. The best part over here is 150 you have to write words in the first section. Again 150 for the second section, which makes it 300 in total. Now you don't have to write 400 words, but coming back to the IELTS exam, you know that 150 words will be there in the first part, 250 words you will have to write in the second part, which is making it 400, and which is a big deal, especially when you are doing paper with hand, no? Another part is in IELTS, be it computer based exam, be it pen paper exam, you don't get auto word counter anywhere. But in CELPIP, you get auto word counter. You know that whenever we get papers or whenever we do tasks who are based upon counting the words, we generally count them manually. But CELPIP is providing you a huge benefit over there. Now you don't need to count down the words manually. Instead, there will be an auto word counter and the words will get automatically counted. So you will be able to see that how many words you have covered so far. Other thing is, you know, that yes, I have been talking about this, that most of the people go with pen paper exam, so handwriting can affect a lot. But when we do typing based test, you know that handwriting plays no role. Now some people might be wondering that, okay, we are not so good with typing, how will we be able to do the writing thing? So you might be familiar that 150 word is not a big deal, and you will get complete 55 minutes for doing this activity. Now if you are very very slow, even though you will be able to do this part conveniently, so you need not to worry about the typing part. Then coming to the spell checkers, so in IELTS exam you don't get any spell checkers, but CELPIP exam you does. So CELPIP is the only exam which provides you a spell checker, and once you get any spelling which is wrong, you just click on it. There will be a red line just below it, and then you can get it corrected. So you don't have to worry about the spell checker part as well. When we talk about IELTS, so editing is a bit difficult. When we talk about IELTS, you know that you cannot edit, add, or you cannot cut things anytime. But when we come to the selfie part, editing is also very convenient since it is a computer based exam, and then you don't need to even write much. And you can clearly see that when we talk about the writing part, CELPIP is here with a number of advantages, right? Wherein when we talk about other exams, they don't provide such advantages, especially in this module. And then we have to do many things manually. But coming to the CELPIP exam, you can see that there are a number of advantages. Coming to the reading part now. So reading in IELTS, you know that again it is a bit tricky because you get multiple variety of questions. Now what is there in this CELPIP? I'll be telling you about that also. First we'll discuss the question parts. So in IELTS you get 40 questions in total, but when we talk about CELPIP, there are only 38 questions in total. Correct answers for CLB 9 is 34 in IELTS, not CLB 9, but yes, for 9, for the desired band, which is 7 in IELTS. So 34 correct answers you need, but when we talk about CELPIP, you just need to get 31 correct answers for CLB 9 score, which is a good thing to do. Marks required is 7 out of 9 is required in case of IELTS, but when we talk about CELPIP, only 9 out of 12 is required, which is again a good thing. Now in IELTS, you know that you have to do it in a different platform, but when we come on with CELPIP exam, so you have to do it in a same screen since it is a computer based exam only. Now coming to the main part, why are finding answers in IELTS are difficult? Finding answers in IELTS is difficult because you get multiple variety of questions. We'll get questions like not given, false, and true. Now we get confused between false and not given. What exactly false is, what exactly not given is. We get confused over there, no? But when we talk about CELPIP, we get all the questions in a drop-down menu. Now, what is this drop-down menu? Drop-down menu is the combination of fill in the blanks and MCQs. You'll get a blank, you click on it, you will get 4 options, and then you have to choose the relevant one, right? So this is the only category and the variety of questions that you will get in the reading part. The other thing I would say over here is, in reading, as I already show you, that you will get 4 paragraphs over here. But when we talk about IELTS, you know that you get 3 sections, and wherein each passage is containing 10 to 12 paragraphs, which is a bit difficult to read. But in case of CELPIP, in each section, you will not get more than 4 paragraphs. So there will be only 4 paragraphs in each section, which will be easier and convenient to read. So this is about the reading, and then the moment you submit your answers, you cannot go forward. But yes, until or unless you haven't submitted your answer, you are free to change your answers anytime, which is not possible in IELTS. No, when you tick or when you mark answer once, you cannot go back. That is the problem over there in IELTS part. I hope reading is also clear to you. Going to the next module, which is speaking. Now, what happens over here in speaking? The most complicated thing over there in IELTS speaking is you have an examiner, and you clearly know that the other person sitting over there is a proficient speaker of the language. Okay, what's just happened? Just give me a minute. Yes, we were talking about the speaking module, that we clearly know that the other person speaking over there is a proficient speaker of the language. So sometimes things become difficult for us. So sorry, just going back. Yes, sometimes things become difficult for us. But when we know that there is no examiner and we don't have to even turn your camera on, so we feel a bit more comfortable, which happens in CELPIP only. Very simple in speaking activity. You don't even have to turn your camera on, and there will be nobody in front of you. Just your system. You will get a question on your screen. You read it from a screen. You get a particular amount of time for reading and getting the answer. And then you have to speak for a minute only. Again, I am repeating that you have to speak for 1 minute only. You don't have to speak for 3 minutes now. What happens in IELTS that you will have to at least speak for 2 to 3 minutes for a single question. So the first part, IELTS, you get examiner. CELPIP, you don't get examiner. You have to do this exam in front of a computer only. Psychology affects a lot, since you know that other person is very good with English, but CELPIP, it doesn't affect at all, because you know that there is nobody. You are the only person. IELTS, calculating all the cue card questions, there are around 20 questions, but when we come back to the CELPIP, we have only 8 questions, 8 fixed sections, and then you will get questions revolving around them only. Time allotted, you know that in IELTS you will have to speak continuously for 11 to 14 minutes. But when we come to the CELPIP, you don't have to speak for 11 to 14 minutes, but you can get 15 to 20 minutes with proper rest. So you don't have to speak continuously as well. And coming to the desired score, so 7 out of 9 is required in IELTS, and in CELPIP it is just 9 out of 12, right? So this is how we go ahead in this exam, which is CELPIP. Now I have tried to cover all the 4 modules. Kindly let me know if you have any confusion and if you want to know anything from my side.
Hi, ma'am. Myself Rose. I joined a little bit late, so I don't know whether you have covered it up. Is this CELPIP only for academic, or is it for PR? How is that?
Ma'am, yes. CELPIP exam is for both. You can go ahead with academic part, which is the study visa, and then your PR part as well. Exam remains the same. So you will not get 2 different exams over here, but yes, it will remain the same.
Okay. If it for academic one, whether it is okay for the colleges and universities, is it acceptable there?
Yes, it is accepted by all the colleges and all the universities in Canada only. So this
Okay.
exam is only and only for Canada. That is the only difference.
Okay. This same score is okay for after once we get the offer letter from the university or college, we can use this score instead of IELTS for a visa application.
Yes, absolutely. See,
Oh,
you are looking for PR or study visa?
this study.
Study visa. Yes, absolutely. As I told you that it is acceptable in all the colleges, but only for Canada. If you're looking for some other countries, so that surely that this exam is not for you. But yes, if you're very, very sure with your country, which is Canada, so this exam is for you.
Okay,
And you can
understood.
get the access to all the colleges and all the universities over there. One more thing that I would want to add, since you joined late, so this exam is out of 12, wherein for study purpose you have to get the eligibility, which is 7. 7 out of 12 is a very convenient score to get, and you can even get, since you are very fresh with study, so you can even get 8 or 9, which will provide you good opportunities for scholarships as well.
Okay, okay, fine.
Yes.
Okay, so if coming into PR part, the same.
Yes.
What will be the score for that?
What will be the
Score.
PR? We require 9 out of 12, like 9 in all the modules. Since CLB 9 provides so many advantages, if you were there, so you might have noticed that, okay, these are the things which will be provided with CLB 9. So yes, for PR part, you need to get CLB 9. CLB 7 makes you eligible, but yes, CLB 9 will give you the what I say, that conformity of that you are going into immigration part and you are surely entering into the country.
Okay, but when coming into the college brochures and all, this they are not mentioned any thing like CELPIP. They mention IELTS, TOEFL, PTE, and Duolingo.
Okay, so if my screen is visible, I'm sure it is visible to you.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
visible.
So if you go to this part, which is the official site of CELPIP, you can get all the information that I am just checking in over here, who accepts CELPIP. So it is accepted by all the organizations, and you can also get or write an email to your organization asking for it, since it is a new exam. And from a few months back only, they are accepting all the CELPIP, all the Canadian immigrants or international students for other countries. So you can have a look at that part as well, and you can get the confirmation from your organization too.
Okay, fine. Do we have any age limit for this CELPIP exam?
Are you talking about study visa or the
Both,
PR?
both the case, because I have a gap between my studies and now. So
No such word limit. I am sure that you might be less than 45, no? So yes,
yeah.
age limit is up to 17, from 17 to 45, so you need not to worry about that.
Okay, okay. Thank you.
Yes. Rest, you can just get the information from our counselor head. So I will be providing her number too. She has been there for like last 15 years in the same field. So she
Okay,
can help you out with each and every query of yours.
okay. Thank
Oh,
you.
and you can see it here as well, that you might be wondering that what is this. So I have just entered into the CELPIP's official site. If you type celpip.ca, you will get into the site as well. Now, who accepts CELPIP? You can see that it has been accepted for PR status. Canadian citizenship, once you get the PR in 2 years, you will be able to turn it into a CC, which is Canadian citizenship. Then Canadian experience class, federal skilled trained program, federal skilled worker program, starter visa, and this SDS. Now you can see student direct stream, it has been accepted by them also. Various provincial nominee program. By all these categories, CELPIP exam gives you the entry. Now I would want to share one more thing. So many people will be wondering that, okay, or so many people will be claiming that we provide the authentic coaching. Now you might be facing a difficulty as in which organization has to be chosen. So once you go to the stakeholder part of the site, and then you can go to the agents. In India, if you go ahead, you'll see our name over there. We have been serving for, this is our name and this is our website too. So we have been serving for this exam from last few years, since the exam was introduced in India, and we are the silver members for this exam. So all the information that we are going to provide you over here will be the authentic, and then the study material also which we will be providing is going to be authentic again. So this is what I had to show you in the site, official site of CELPIP.
Sorry to interrupt. One more thing.
Yes,
Is it full online or listening house that we should have gone to a center or
yeah, this exam is only a computer based exam. So we don't
okay?
have the other option over here.
So should we go to centers or
Yeah, you will
just
have
we
to
can?
go to, yes, you will have to go to center for sure.
Okay, so do where all we have the centers? Do we have in Cochin?
Can you please tell me where are you residing currently?
Cochin, Kerala.
Kerala, we have a center. Let me show you.
Okay.
Oh, we don't have a center at Kerala, but you can see
We
that
have
Hyderabad, Bangalore, we have centers.
and Chennai. Okay,
You can
okay.
go there and just apply for the exam, and then you can give the exam over there as well.
All the module will be completed in a single day.
Yes,
Okay,
three
fine.
hours exam only. Okay, Miss Neha Bhatt has raised this question that what about above 44, 45? So when you are above 45, you will get other opportunities. Like obviously when you are 45, your work experience will be very high. So you will get the opportunity on work experience part, but yes, coming to the age part, you won't get anything for there. So you won't get any points if you are above 45.
Understood. Thank you.
Okay. Any other query? I have been taking queries now. So let me know if you have any query, please. Let me know. We can discuss.
Pallavi, can I add for H factor 45?
Yes, sir, please.
Like, since if you are above 45, you will not be getting point for your H factor, and which is 110. Somehow you will be getting no point for this age out of 110, but you can easily compensate this 110 point with your advantage, which certainly you received with a CLB9 score. So once you are there with CLB9, you are going to get the addition of a point of 152 or 156, as the case may be, with spouse or without spouse. And you can see easily, it is not dependent on your age factor, because it is not affected by age. The three factors which contributed this point are your English proficiency point, your additional qualification, and work experience. So if you are there with CLB9 score, need not to worry. Above 45 can also get their PR. Maybe not in Federal Skill Worker Program, but certainly through PNP programs.
I
Do
hope
you get, Neha, do you get the answer to your question?
so. I can appear the exam.
Okay.
Yes, I'm so sorry to answer late. Yes, I got the answer. So I can appear the exam. Only the age factor will be not considered. Rest everything will be considered, right?
Exactly, exactly. You
Yeah.
will be losing the 110 point, but that 110 point can easily be compensated through that CLB score, 9 score.
Okay. Thanks a lot. Thank you very much.
Okay.
One more thing, will it be applicable for express entry in case we are looking for PR?
Certainly. The Pallavi has shown you right now that Federal Skill Worker Program. Federal Skill Worker Program is nothing but it is a other name for the express entry.
Okay, fine.
So,
Okay.
so you
So,
can
yeah, please.
so you can apply, you can use this CELPIP score in number of categories. Like not only when you are in India, like if you go for the study purpose, after completing your study, you are likely to apply for your permanent residency program. The rule says you have to appear afresh. You have to appear again while you are applying for your PR status from the study status. So that moment of time, again, you can go for the CELPIP exam in Canada. So that way you can use this CELPIP score for applying for the PR, or even after converting your PR status into the Canadian citizenship. Federal Skilled Trade Program is the one category under which all the business professionals are eligible to apply for their business immigration using this CELPIP exam. And certainly the other categories are your startup visa programs, and obviously the PNP programs are there, and you can utilize all this category, including your study visa, which is under the SDS category. And let me explain you there are a certain college and universities which are not right now accepting this CELPIP score for admission purposes. And these are the very handful college and universities, but somehow mostly they are accepting the CELPIP exam for the study purpose.
Okay, CELPIP is valid for how many years? It's 2 years itself.
Yes.
Validity of this exam is 2 years,
Okay.
and you can utilize the CELPIP score within the validity either for immigration category or for study purpose, or even flexibility is up to that point. You can use in the both the categories also.
Okay, you are telling we will be handling single exams both for academic and general in IELTS.
Exactly, exactly. You can use for study purpose right now. After completing 1 year of your qualification, maybe you are eligible for PR. Again, you need not to go. You can immediately use your existing because validity is 2 years.
Okay, one more thing. We will able to calculate our CRS score using the IELTS score. So can we do the same with CELPIP also?
Like since there is no difference at all. Like so IELTS and CELPIP, these are the two different exams just to complete the obligation of a professional your English proficiency score. That's all.
Okay.
Either of the exam will be your choice. Once you go for the whether it is a CELPIP or whether it is IELTS, both the exams score will be equivalent on the one platform. That platform is called as the CLB level, which Pallavi has shown you, CLB 7, CLB 8 or CLB 9. So this is the platform where both the exams score are equalated. So once you are there with your score, maybe through CELPIP or IELTS, rest process is similar. No changes at all. Is it clear, Rose?
Yeah, it's clear. Thank you.
Okay, we have addressed your queries. Now moving to the other part, which are the major things to know about the CELPIP exam. First and the foremost thing, which is the cost. Now you know that the cost of IELTS has even increased and now it is 16,200 rupees. But CELPIP only costs 12,800 rupees. So booking dates, you will have to book the IELTS, that 2 to 3 weeks prior, and it is really difficult to get the dates. But CELPIP is so flexible with the dates that you can even book the exam in the same week. Let's say I have my exam on Monday, so I will be able, or I most probably will get my exam on Saturday done. So you need not to worry about booking dates as well. Coming to the spoken English, as I already explained, CELPIP, it is just about Canadian English. IELTS, British and US English both are required, and then result will also be declared in 3 to 5 days only in case of CELPIP. But when we talk about IELTS, you need at least 13 days. And module remains the same. Listening, reading, writing, and speaking will be there in the CELPIP exam. So now I'll be taking you towards the technical part. I hope you don't have any queries so far. If you have any, kindly let me know. Otherwise, I'll be moving to the technical part. In technical part, we will be discussing some insights of the exam. Meanwhile, if your doubts are clear, kindly put up your number in the chat box. So it will be very convenient for us to communicate. Okay, so coming up to this part, when we talk about writing part 2, okay, thank you so much, Miss Neha. When we talk about writing part 2, so I just said that it is passage writing. Now you might be wondering that what is this passage writing? Passage 2 has a particular format, no? So what kind of writing it was? And when we talked about the format, so there it was written that it is survey writing questions. So again, you might be wondering that what is this survey writing, no? How do you have to go ahead? So what are surveys, I would say? Surveys generally we conduct when we have a doubt, we have a confusion, and then we get some answers and we choose our solution as per the majority. We go ahead with the majority answer. Thank you, Mr. Saeed, for your number. And then when we talk about survey writing, so I'll be giving you a question or I'll be dictating a question over here, and then we'll see how we will go ahead with the survey writing part. So the question is, suppose in my society, or let's say that I am the secretary of the society and we have some fund which is collected over there. Now we are looking forward to utilize this fund into something useful. right? So we have two options. Either when we can make a yoga center in our society, or we can go ahead with a gym. Now we are having two options, either yoga center or the other option is gym, right? So the first option, this is the question, and you will be getting the two options, which is yoga center and gym. Now, as a part of that survey, you are supposed to give your responses, and along with your responses, you will give a reason too, that I have chosen up this option and what is the appropriate reason over here. Let me tell you that it is a formal kind of writing. So you are not supposed to put in informal writings, informal phrases, or informal words. Instead, you will be putting it in a very formal manner. So I have dictated the question already. Now, how do we go ahead? I will be telling you that. First, we choose our way, like very straightforward. I opine that, suppose I'm going ahead with yoga center. I opine that yoga center is a better, okay, I will just not writing the whole thing, but I'm just trying to give you an idea, is a better option than the other one, and it can have many advantages. So you don't have to write more than 3 lines over here in the introduction part, since going back to the requirement word limit is only 150, right? So this is my first introductory part. Now I will start up with my first argument. Argument means reason, that why should yoga center be there. So I'll be giving my first argument. Yoga is very flexible with age. People belonging to every age group will be able to get themselves healthy, and then it is suitable and it will cause no harm to the age groups. But when we talk about gym, you know that at a particular amount, or at a only a particular age group can do that. Others will not be benefited out of this option, right? So this is my second argument, and you need not to extend it by 4 lines. Just write 4 lines and you are done with it. Okay, 4 to 5 lines. You don't need to extend it. So this was my second argument. Now I'll come back to my third argument. Third argument will be this, that in the era of high work stress, we all forget to value our mental health. Yoga will play a major role in getting our mind, or in making, or in giving the peace to our mind, and then get into a healthy mental health. But when we talk about other things, you know that meditation is very important, and meditation being a part of yoga will be really a better option, or will be really a beneficial option to us. Now I have written my second argument as well. If you have third argument, you can go ahead with that also. But yes, to be smart over here, since you know that you will not be measured on the basis of your length, but you will be measured on the basis of the quality that you have put in. So go ahead with 2 arguments only, and then we will go to the fourth part, which is conclusion only. Now, fourth paragraph, I have given separate paragraphs to each passage. So separate conclusion I'll write. To conclude, I strongly feel that yoga center is a way better option than the other one, since it is not only giving health benefits, but also it will give a sustainability to our mental health. So not only giving physical benefits, but also is giving a sustainability to our mental health. Now see that it is the conclusion that I have given, and then you don't have to exclude, or you don't have to extend your conclusion by 3 lines too. Now you can see that we started at around 8:40 and I did it in 8:49. I mean, the content I did not write much. If you want to fill in the gaps, it will take 5 to 10 more minutes and you are done. The content I already gave, right? That means we have the capacity to think and we can do it. It is not a big thing or big task. So this is about the writing part 2, and this is how we go ahead. This is how we put in the arguments. Now you can see how easier it is as compared to the essay writing part of files, right? It's way more easier. So this is what I had to talk about, the technicality part, wherein we discuss the survey writing, which is writing task 2. Now, if you have any confusion in this part, or if you have any confusion in the other part, you can just let me know, because I have one more slide to be discussed. So I'll be going back to it. Okay. So, I hope my screen is visible. So this is our address. Whosoever is residing in Delhi and wants to know more about this exam or is interested in getting the coaching, getting the training, so you can just visit to this address and then we can help you out with the things over there. And those who are not from Delhi, they can opt for our online coaching as well, wherein we will provide trainings for various exams, particularly for CELPIP. It is very trending nowadays. And as I showed you, that whatever we are going to deliver will be surely the authentic material. This is the number of our head counselor, which is Mrs. Neha. She has been there in the field for last 15 years and she has each and every information about all the foreign countries and Canada particularly. Yes. So if you have any doubt regarding the immigration part or anything, you can just contact her anytime. And yes, by tomorrow morning, you can give her calls too. So also, I will be telling you that we provide our live classes, our study material and real-time mock tests that will be there on the official site of CELPIP. No other partner can provide that because it is already given or only given to the people who are authenticity or who are affiliated to this. Since I told you that we are the silver members, so we have this opportunity and we can happily share it with our students too. The other thing I would want to share over here is, if you want to go ahead with the official uh, smoke test, if you want to buy them from the official site of CELPIP, it will cost you 13,000 rupees. But when we provide you over here, we provide coaching, study material and mock tests in just 12,000 rupees. So yes, it is way more beneficial than the other options. Now I request you to put in your queries, and if you have any doubt, kindly let us know. And if you don't have any doubt, kindly provide your numbers in the chat box. It will be really beneficial and helpful for us to communicate further. Kindly provide your numbers, and if you have any query, you can discuss it out as well. Thank you, Miss Rose. I request everybody to please provide their number. If you're not comfortable, you can just directly message it to me, so no one else will be able to see the number. It will only be me.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello, ma'am. Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
My name is Muhammad Saeed. Actually, I was joined little late to this class. I was preparing for the PR
Right.
to the Canada itself. So, if I am going to write this CELPIP exam, or I am preparing for the IELTS, as you said, it will be more easy than IELTS, right? like comparing to the speaking, writing,
Yes,
listening, and all the things.
very nice.
Overall, as you said that in the writing it is more comfortable than IELTS. It is more comfortable, like speaking part also with the computer and all.
Right.
Right? What I'm saying.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So regarding the scores, I want to ask one question is if I'm going for the IELTS and if I'm going for the CELPIP training, like exam, so what will be the different the mode I will get in the immigration part? They will accept like nine to nine. I need the 9 to score this for the PR process.
Yeah.
Is it possible to score 9 after taking this coaching?
Yes, absolutely, sir. As I already have familiarized you with the pattern, no? So the pattern of comparatively very easy. But when we talk about the other exam, which is IELTS, the pattern is very difficult and the gap is also very less. 8,777 getting out of 9 is way difficult than getting 9 out of 12. That you have the gap of 3 digits over here. And in the coaching part, we will be providing you mock tests and each and every information about the exam. And then we will deep dive into all the topics. So it make things easier. I'm not saying that with this coaching you will be able to do, since you will be preparing for IELTS, so you will be already efficient with the language part, right? Which will give you more benefits. So you are proficient with the language part. We just need to focus on the content. We just need to focus on the structure, and then we'll follow up the CELPIP requirements, right? That
the
is
main
one case.
the main problem is with me is the for the grammar part.
Okay, no worries. We
Over
provide, like, the pattern of the classes is we take classes on Sunday for grammar, and then the other days we go with the CELPIP part. So on Sunday for 2 hours or 1.5 hour, whatever the time suits, we go for grammar classes only.
okay, the duration of the course.
Duration of the course is 2 months, and then it can be extended depending upon the requirements of the student.
Extended till means duration of the course is 2 months. In that
Yeah,
everything will be
2 months, and it
covered.
can be extended. As I told you that depending upon the requirements of the student, so it can be extended.
Okay, after the course till exam, there will be any support and guidance.
Yeah. There will be support and guidance throughout. But if you are looking forward that you are going to give your exam after 2 years and then you need support for 2 years, that won't be possible.
Actually, I was planning on August.
No, that is a good thing. So the other thing is you also take the consent of your trainer that I should go ahead or not, right? So if you go ahead with your choice and then your trainer think that okay, you are not prepared yet, so obviously your score will be affected. But if you take the consent of the trainer that okay, ma'am, shall I go ahead now because you are the person who is evaluating me, so it will surely be a better option, and then they will not give a fake consent because they also don't want their result to be spoiled by others, no?
Yeah, I agree that.
Yeah.
Mock test, as you said, that mock test will be conducted. How many and at what time?
We have 24 mock tests. It will not be conducted. It will be provided to you. So you can do it in the presence of trainer and then you can do it yourself as well. So you have this option. Authentic mock tests which are resembling the final paper of CELPIP will be provided to you since it will be there in the official site of CELPIP only. We'll provide you login credentials.
For the online course, what will be the timing?
Timing are very flexible. We provide early morning courses and late night classes too, since we have people who are from working professional background, no? So many people prefer it taking by 10 in the evening, then 11 in the evening. So we have flexible timings.
So the course will be for 2 months.
Yes.
Right. Thank you, madam. I will get back to you. Thank
Okay,
you.
yeah, sure. Okay, I would request Mr. Akash, Mr. Ramesh, Miss Naga Raja, Kumari, kindly provide your numbers if you are or if you get anything out of this session. Kindly provide your numbers so we'll be getting in contact with you and then we can discuss things over the call as well. I would really appreciate if you do that. Okay. So I think we are done for the session. Thank you so much for joining in with us. It was really nice to meet all of you and then getting your queries and then having such a talkative and interactive session. Thank you so much, everyone. Looking forward to, okay, please explain the exam model, my mobile number. I didn't get your question, Miss Nagaraja. What exam model?
Neha will call tomorrow and then will explain whatever doubt you have.
Okay, I hope it is clear to you, Miss Nagaraja. So thank you so much. Let's call it a day and then looking forward to see you.